How's it going, everyone? Thanks for stopping by and checking out my channel. Now, for today's video, I figured I would go back and check out Diablo 4. It's just been a crazy year for gaming, and I've been extremely busy this year, so I just haven't had the chance to play it. I completely missed out on Season 1, and I heard good things about Season 2, so I figured I would check it out for myself. So I just wanted to give you guys my impressions slash a little mini review of my thoughts on Season 2 and the overall state of Diablo 4 right now. But before we get into my impressions of Season 2, I do want to point out that this video is sponsored by Blizzard and Diablo 4, but that in no way is going to affect my review of Season 2. Now, when Blizzard reached out and wanted to sponsor this video, I was actually pretty excited because I've been wanting to go back and try out Diablo. One of the reasons I haven't played is because a lot of my friends, we all stopped playing it around the same time because we all had very similar complaints about the game when it first launched. So I downloaded Diablo again and I made a new character to try out the new season. I wanted to get a complete fresh start. I didn't watch any YouTube videos ahead of time. I wanted to go in it completely blind and just figure out everything on my own. And one of the biggest complaints that I had with the game around launch was that it just felt like forever to level up. It felt like it was just such a huge grind, especially in the late game content where you just basically had to farm nightmare dungeons over and over and over. And it felt like I was just grinding just for the sake of grinding, and it didn't feel as much fun, and it didn't feel like I was being awarded for my time. And my friends all felt the same way too. But I gotta say, after taking a couple months off and coming back for Season 2, leveling up has never been easier. Because I started a brand new character. I played for just one night. I downloaded the game, I sat down, and I played it basically until I decided to go to bed. So I played about 8 hours or so. And in those 8 hours, I didn't play with anybody online. I didn't have the multiplayer like co-op XP boost or anything. I just played by myself. And in that amount of time, I was able to go from level 0, clear up to about level 33 when I stopped playing for the night. It was nuts. When the game first came out, it took me days to reach level 33. So the amount of XP that you get now early on in the game is just significantly more than what you did at launch. And I really appreciate that. And I was just playing on World Tier 1. I wasn't playing on World Tier 2, which I'm sure would have sped up the process a little bit more. So the number one concern that I had with Diablo a couple months ago has definitely been addressed. And the fact that you gain XP a lot faster now, I feel like now gives you the opportunity to try out other classes. Like for me and my friend group, we didn't play with multiple characters because the grind was just too insane. Well, now with them giving so much XP for everything, I can test out multiple characters and I don't feel like I'm left in the dust. I feel like I could actually experiment and try different classes without dedicating my entire life to the game. So that to me is a huge plus, and if you're new to Diablo, now is a great time to jump right in. And with Season 2, they give you the option to just completely skip over the campaign when you're making a new character. So if you don't want to play the campaign and you just want to jump straight into the Season 2 content, you can do so. So with Season 2, there has been a lot of quality of life changes. I can definitely tell that they've been listening to the community and taking a lot of the feedback and, making the game a lot better because of it. For example, I know they made this change a couple months back, like right after I stopped playing. But another gripe I had with the game was that there was these like barricades all over the place and you had to jump off of your horse and then destroy the barricade or walk around it and then get back on your horse. And it kind of took you out of the experience and slowed the game down. Well, they did a quality of life update where now you can just charge right over the barricades with your horse. And it feels to me like they made the horse a lot faster than what it was previously. I don't know if that was something they changed in the patch notes or not, but it feels to me like the horse is faster and you can run over the barricades and that saves up a lot of time. It's just a small little change, but that's something that I also appreciate, and it made life just way easier. They also added the addition of new loading screens, so now whenever there's a loading screen, it will show your character and it will show off whatever outfit you're currently wearing. You don't really get to see your character up close that much in this game because there's just so much combat going on. So getting to see how cool your character looks every time there's a small little loading screen, I think is another really good touch. And then another quality of life change that they made since I stopped playing is that you can now instantly fast travel to nightmare dungeons. Before, you had to mark it on your map and then physically travel there, and that got really old really fast. So being able to just immediately fast travel to any nightmare dungeon is a huge time saver, and I'm really glad that they listened to the community feedback on this one because it is a great change. But for Season 2, outside of the quality of life changes, they actually added some new vampiric powers. It's like a whole nother skill tree of different powers and stuff you can slot in, and it gives you even more bonuses on top of your Paragon tree and just the skills that you already had to begin with. So now you're even more powerful in Season 2. And a lot of the vampiric powers, I think, work really well with the build I was going with. Now, I was playing with a barbarian this go around. My original playthrough, I went with a druid, and I feel like the vampiric powers just overall was a pretty cool addition, and I like what they were going for here, because anytime I get additional power-ups to make me even stronger, you know, that's going to be a ton of fun. They've also added the addition of like bounty boards now, so in each of the major towns, like you're going to find this little bounty board, and the bounty board just has like additional little objectives that you can strive to get, and once you complete them, it gives you like bonus gear and stuff. It's nothing too crazy, but as you progress in the bounty board, you unlock better and better gear, which, you know, some of them can be pretty cool, and then, you know, if anything, you can just break them down for additional resources, and just an additional thing that you can kind of grind as you're playing. So I do like the addition of the bounty boards. That's pretty cool. They also added Blood Harvest, where a section of the map will kind of turn blue, and in that region, it will spawn just endless vampires and like werewolves and all kinds of creatures, and as you kill them, they will drop different vials of blood, and then you can spend that blood to summon boss fights, and they will drop even more rewards. And in the Blood Harvest region, you'll find tons of chests, and all these enemies drop keys for these chests, and in those chests you'll get even more loot. And what I really enjoy about the Blood Harvest is that it feels like the Blood Harvests are actually worth the time and effort to actually sit there and grind them, because the amount of XP that I was getting from just staying in the Blood Harvest region, I was leveling up just left and right, and all I was doing was just running around and participating in the Blood Harvest region. Which kind of leads me into the next point, is that there's always something new to unlock. Between the new bounty boards, the new seasonal content, and even the battle pass, you're just constantly getting just tons and tons of gear thrown at you. It feels like they upped the amount of loot that you get, which I really appreciate, because if you want to get the perfect god roll on a certain item or on certain gear, it drops so frequently that I was able to make the build that I wanted pretty early on in my playthrough. But overall, I really enjoy Season 2 so far. I love the amount of XP that you get. I love that there's constantly something to do. There's something to strive for. You get more loot. I like the new vampiric powers. It gives me additional ways to make my character even stronger. And most importantly, I feel like my time is being respected now. Like before, when the game first came out, and the late game content, it just got a little bit repetitive. It basically just turned into you farming nightmare dungeons just over and over and over. And now with the additional XP that you get from doing pretty much everything, and the addition of the Blood Harvest, now you have more options than ever to level up your character. Instead of just focusing on nightmare dungeons, maybe you want to farm nightmare dungeons for an hour, and then you want to do Blood Harvest for an hour. Well, you get just as many good rewards from the Blood Harvest as you would from the nightmare dungeons. So I just like that there's multiple options, and now it no longer feels like a grind. Now it feels like I'm doing it just because it's fun. So I feel like they absolutely nailed it in Season 2. Like I said earlier, if you're a new player or a returning player, I think now is a great time to jump into Diablo 4. And overall, for Season 2, I really enjoyed it. I love all the quality of life changes that they made, and it definitely has my seal of approval. But that is going to do it for everything in today's video, guys. If you guys enjoyed it, then please give this video a thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. And a big thank you again for Diablo 4 and Blizzard for sponsoring today's video.